Alright, let me check if the stream is working. I think it should be. I think it should be. Okay, there we go. Excellent, the stream is working. So hello everyone. Welcome to the International Kriegsspiel Society's Battle of Caldiero. It's currently a Friday and we are playing one of our evening games. We usually have regular games on Saturdays, called Open Saturday, but today KB and I decided to host a game on a Friday as well. So today we have the Battle of Caldiero. We currently have 30 players on the field and 8 umpires currently. And the battle itself has actually been going on for, 2 hours worth of in-game time. Oh, sorry. Well, actually, yeah, about 2 hours, a bit under of in-game time. So it is currently 12:45. We had some technical difficulties with the game earlier, and the stream, and as such, I've just decided to restart the stream. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the path of march to battle as properly now, but we're basically going to be jumping straight into action then. So this is a game. Open game that was hosted on our Discord server. Everyone is free to join, and we have plenty of new players in today's game. I think actually most players are new players. A bit of a background history to the scenario. Basically, on the eastern side is the Austro-Hungarian army positioned along the river Alpone. The small units that you see are battalions or batteries or cavalry squadrons, and then these even smaller pieces are player pieces. Then they are brigade pieces they are kind of for aesthetic reasons helping to understand where each brigade is. And then there are a bunch of wagon pieces. These are infantry wagons, they are artillery wagons, and then there are even bigger baggage trains, which we haven't shown on the map now. In the scenario, this is the historical battle of Caldiero. So Archduke John and his army has successfully invaded northern Italy and has a few weeks ago defeated the army of Eugene Beauharnais, the commander of the Italian army of Italy and also the viceroy of Italy. And the viceroy and his army has now been on the retreat for a couple of weeks. But the viceroy has gotten reinforcements and has gotten a good distance away from his opponent and has now reinforced his troops and has now launched an attack. This attack currently is well underway. It is 12:45 and the game started at 11:00 game time, and as such, all of the marching has mostly been done. To quickly go over what happened prior. The Franco-Italian troops marched on this highway here in a large column with another distracting force going towards Suave to a feint on the enemy. The Austrians, meanwhile, were positioned along the river Alpone in defensive positions, but it seems like the situation has evolved quite a bit as we have Austrian troops that have actually crossed in the north and are currently threatened in the flank of the Franco-Italian army. And near Suave, the feint of the Franco-Italian army seems to be developing into a proper attack, as a whole French division is being redirected from the reserve towards Suave. Meanwhile, the main effort, though, near Villanova, the highway bridge. Basically, this red line is a highway. The There is a skirmish developing as the Austrians have deployed skirmisher lines, and seems like the Italians have pushed them back. There's a small bridge here as well. And in the south, meanwhile, there was actually something that you just missed, which was a cavalry engagement between the French cavalry and the Austrian cavalry that was attempting to do a flanking attack. Interesting how we'll see how that develops. But still quite a lot of French troops here. Basically entire corps, it seems like, here in the south. A division positioned here on the river, facing what is an Austrian brigade, and you have more Austrians on the way towards the highway bridge and also towards Saint Bonifacio. In the north, meanwhile, it seems like the Austrian lines in defending Suava are being grown quite thin. In addition to, there was a bit of pre-game planning before this game. There were basically each side had their own briefing, which I will show shortly. So it is this is an example of the Austrian briefing. It is quite extensive. You have the whole the terrain explained a bit here, then the environment, so you know a bit about the terrain, and then the background to the scenario. So we are talking about the year 1809, and the Austrians are on the attack, but the tide of war is about to turn. This is about the same time as the Battle of Eckmühl would be happening, and then the order of battle of the Austrians. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit as I've been running this game for a couple of hours now, but I'm now going to be fully focused on this live stream casting business. If you have any comments, feel free to type in the chat. I'm going to keep an eye on it on my second monitor, and I'm now going to go interview some of the players. So this is what the game actually looks like. Most of this is done on Discord. So while this is the umpire table, so only the umpires see this, while each one of these tiny little dots here is a player. And what they see is given by the umpire in terms of screenshots, which are posted in Discord. And this way you can see that there's a bunch of these voice channels here. Each one of these is a player on their own. Now I'm going to go talk to His Excellency Archduke John and Grenadier Brigade Commander Kleinmeier, who seem to be right here in Suave, near the center of the Austrian position. I'm interested to see what they think the situation is like. Greetings.
Greetings.
What do you think the situation is currently, gentlemen? To quickly start off our brief conversation. Where are you currently, and what have you been doing? Sorry to interrupt you.
I am in Suave. I've been managing the area around here. I've been looking for Spleny. There was some confusion about units moving into Suave, where I wasn't sure whose units they were, but I think Spleny is still in the north. Yeah, we are preparing a counterattacks or in some way to get our units south, because there has been very little pressure here yet from the enemy, and the south did report that there was most of the enemy attack was happening there. So yeah, I think the current situation is there should be a lot of pressure on our side as the enemy is getting in position to make their attacks. Honestly, I'm kind of not the one in charge, because the command to the south is given to Marziani, so he will get most of the action, I believe. Right. I'm not sure what's happening around Servitore, but they should either be pressured by the enemy or make some space for their attack with cavalry.
And General Kleinmeier, you're merely a brigade commander, but could you tell me a bit about what you think, what you're currently doing, and how the battle has been going on for you so far, and what you think is currently happening on the wider scale.
I'm currently responsible for the southern part of Suave. That's right name. I've spent the beginning of the game deploying my troops in a particular manner so that I can hold all the crossings. There was some confusion about existence and non-existence of some of the bridges because there are roads that come to a sudden stop before a river. So yeah. But at the moment, I was organizing a delaying action before I can kind of deploy my artillery as I wanted it. And now I'm I mean I have no other responsibility other than hold it. And I know that to the north of me there is nothing much happening. I see giant columns of Italians to the south. So at the moment I think I can do nothing better than try and hold my position. Yeah. That's about it, I think.
I see. Have you gotten any information from as a mere brigade commander, have you gotten any information from the other parts of the battle?
I've been in contact with General from Caldiero to my north, and it's just recently, and we've been discussing if I need any aid for now, and I don't think I do, except for repositioning some of my artillery that is under his command, and it was reattached to him.
All right.
Otherwise,
Sorry,
no, I have
General. I have to actually stop you here because I don't want to impede the game itself, and it seems like your
Sure,
umpire
sure.
has arrived. The
Sorry, I'm a
general.
little bit slow. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to give an update for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you ride over to reorganize the broken Rensers, which has since started to regroup. When you hear some sounds of musket fire, intense volleys of musket fire just to your south. So when you get back, you can see that French had attacked the bridge south of the town of Suave
Mm-hmm.
shortly after. Messenger from the Grenadier Battalion holding their reports that they have been strongly attacked by enemy infantry in force and are currently still holding, but that they are quite heavily outnumbered. The artillery that you have deployed reports that they could that the enemy infantry would be in range, but that they have not opened fire yet, but are asking for permission to open fire now.
Yeah, they are outnumbered. Sure. Okay. Let's open fire.
I'll come back for orders in a second.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Since we've skipped some time without orders. Yeah, I didn't give anything except for my message for 2045. Okay, 20. Oh, 12. 20 plus.
Sorry, I had to get some water as one of
Sure,
the
yeah.
as Robert pointed out in the chat. I did need a drink after talking so much lately. But yeah, so Clem, from this recent update you received, what do you think you'll do now?
This is a tough question actually, because I did not expect enemy to attack this bridge. Of course, and I maybe want to deploy my one of the grenadiers that I told I ordered to be held in reserve towards the southern bridge of these attacks, and I possibly want to allow my artillery to open fire over the heads of my grenadiers so that it can relieve some of the pressure they are under. Because I'm not sure. I think my character would be a little bit more experienced in this, but I don't think that even elite grenadiers can hold too much time under two enemy units firing at them at the same time. So I think I need to support them, and I feel a little bit naked to the south. I mean, there is a large gap without bridges, but still, I have no idea what's happening to the south other than seeing enemy marching towards our positions. Maybe I want to.
Hello. I would
Hello.
like your orders now, please.
Sure. I will allow my artillery to open fire on the enemy that is firing at my grenadiers in south. Hopefully, it can be reasonably accurate. And sure, I should have one of the grenadiers units held in reserve.
That is correct.
I want them. I want them to support
The southern bridge.
Yes, yes.
Alright.
That's it. 2 orders.
All right, thank you.
I will also want to make orders. I will send a
Sure.
letter to Marziani,
All right.
and I will be moving north to Font Colorado Mansfield.
All right.
One question.
Mayor, you should be expecting attacks from the south. On our side of the river, I think the enemy might be able to breach at Chiesco from the update
Sure.
I've been seeing, but it would probably take almost an hour before they manage to do anything.
I hope we'll be able to see some of this if the guy will be coming our way. Question for the umpire, if it's okay. Wait, sorry, no. I wanted to ask it's if my missive from 12:45 was sent because I didn't talk about it.
Yeah, your message has been sent.
Nice. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
If there's if the enemy seems too strong or you think that you can't hold the bridge, just move back into Suave. The city will still give you a major advantage even if you are unable to hold the bridge.
Okay, we're making the citadel. Okay.
Just as an option of retreat. We might be split up with the south anyways. And if there are just some units of them on the east side of the river, it will not be too much of an issue.
So I'm holding sway of Suave anyway, and I'm not retreating to Monfort if communications break. Got
No, you hold Suave under all circumstances. Hold Suave.
Okay, we're going to leave Suave for a bit. So that was an example of the point of view of a pair of commanders, one a mere brigade commander, Kleinmeier, and one the actual commander-in-chief of the Austrian forces, Archduke Johann. So you can see a lot of the brigade commander was very focused on the air matter at hand, in the ordering around individual units, while the commander-in-chief of the whole Austrian army is concerned with the whole situation. I hope he has been able to keep a good grasp on it. But a lot of things seem to have happened meanwhile. In the south, we can see the situation heating up considerably, as much of the Italian and mostly Italian actually, Italian artillery has been moved into position, and the Austrians actually just southeast of Kleinmeier are starting to feel quite a lot of pressure, and it seemed like Kleinmeier was not really aware of the situation, as he's concerned with the situation at Suave itself. In the north as well, meanwhile, the Austrians seem to be actually conducting a cavalry charge onto the flank of the French forces near Suave, so this could actually potentially change the situation quite well in the favor of the Austrians near Suave. But there seems to be a whole division of French soldiers en route to Suave. Actually, we could maybe go listen in on the overall situation from one of the players, and that being the French commander-in-chief himself, General MacDonald. I wonder where he is currently. First, we need to find out of all these dozens of commanders on this large battlefield. Where would I be if I was MacDonald? Actually, I'm going to go just ask him. Hey, General MacDonald.
Hello.
Your Excellency, I'm here to converse with you about the current situation a bit. And
Sure.
I would like to hear first, where are you supposed to be currently on the map?
I just rode up to Vianney.
Just up to Vianney. And where were you prior to that? Or did you give any orders on where you want to go for next?
So, at 1300, I was with Fontanelli, checking out what was going on up there. And then the orders for 1300 were to go over and to Vianney, though I've not gotten any screenshot for that yet.
Alright, well, wherever you are currently, go ahead and... I see that the battle has been ongoing for a couple of hours now, and it's really starting to heat up now, it seems.
Hello.
Like. Oh, you updated. You're on pace here.
Sorry, I thought I took your orders. What are your orders?
I already gave my orders.
No, Grushi.
Oh.
He atted me.
I already.
They're
that
not-
was. You came back. I added you. You came back.
So I
and then
didn't
you-
even realise you atted me there. Okay. So sorry.
Oh no, that was previous.
I hope those get resolved.
Alright, back. Yeah, so, what do you think can you describe the situation currently?
Yeah, so I mentioned, I think in the last one, that the natural place if they wanted to counterattack would be in the north. And that seems to be exactly what they did, but they also launched a southern pincer, so I'm assuming what they're trying to do is a double envelopment of us. But so far, the southern pincer has not gone well for them. My wonderful man here, Grushi, that is in-game man Grushi, has launched a successful attack and destroyed the enemy cavalry. I had him detach a force to pursue it, and now he's going to regroup. Enemy infantry, which started crossing, should be engaged now by my Italians. At least I gave the order for that. I have a couple divisions in reserve still. I'm waiting to see what I find in the north. Because there, I sent one division to reinforce Vianney against what I presume to be another enemy pincer coming down at him. Last I checked, he seemed to be somewhat underestimating the power of cavalry. So I'm a little bit nervous as to what I'll find. But if everything's going well up there, or at least he's holding them off, then I think we should be able to just destroy the southern pincer, swing north, destroy the northern pincer, and then from there it should be fairly easy to overwhelm the enemy. I have to say, I need to give praise to a lot of my very new players here. They've been performing excellently so far. There have been a few miscommunications and like some communication issues in general, but they've been very reliable and they've been executing orders very well, especially when I'm like there to explain what I mean. They've been doing very well.
I see. As a recap, General MacDonald, could you explain what was your beginning plan before the battle and how it has evolved over the last couple of hours into its current form?
So I'll try and keep it quick because it seems like umpires are here for orders.
They
Essentially,
can
the plan-
answer later. You can answer later that question.
You know, let's move us
you're to the different channel to answer this because you're not here.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Vianney anyway. Hey, so essentially the beginning plan was to launch a diversionary attack.
Sorry, McDonald, where are you? Do you know roughly where you are? We've lost
Yeah.
your token.
Vianney is where I was going.
Where's that?
In the north. He's the commander of the infantry reserve.
Oh yeah, I see him. Yeah, I'll give you your report in a second, but
Yeah, so the beginning plan was to launch a diversionary attack with as few forces as possible at Suave, and then mass everyone else for a huge central attack, where I had this whole plan of which echelon to use in which order. Then when I started getting reports from Vianney that apparently the enemy had a large force coming from, San Vittore, I was going to detach. I initially detached just one division to go help him because I didn't want to divert too much from the main attack. And then the southern pincer was also revealed at pretty much the exact time that I came south to check in on how things were going. And it's at that point that I kind of started to realize what I think the enemy plan is. Like I said, this double envelopment that I think was probably stretched over too wide of an area, so they'll have communication issues and won't be able to concentrate properly. And with that being what I think their plan is, I've pretty much torn my own plan up, or at least delayed it. So right now I'm just going to focus on the southern pincer, destroy it, focus on the northern pincer, destroy it, and then I'll see about destroying whatever is left across that river.
I see. And
I think it's going to, if I were to predict what I think the battle will hinge on, I think it's going to be proper coordination, which I've been both, like I said, there's been some communication issues, but overall I've been pleasantly surprised by how well some of my new players have been doing. So if we can coordinate well enough to concentrate in one area, concentrate in another area, etc., then I think we should be able to win this.
sorry, but I need to give you a report, McDonald. So you are basically you've met with as well as Vianney. You're now with Brusier and Fifth Corps again. You're at basically the head of Fifth Corps' column with the brigade commanders also here. You can see to your north there seems to be some Austrian cavalry who are moving southwards. You actually saw them charge a small Italian cavalry unit, which routed quite easily, basically just fled before the Austrian saber, as it were. You can see, I think, there's like 4 to 6 Austrian squadrons who are pushing down. You can also see a fairly large Austrian infantry column who are just north of Suave, coming down the hill, sort of laid out before you, coming down the hill as a sort of streak along a nasty streak on the Italian countryside that you will soon excise, surely, right? And yeah, I will be back in a second.
I swear I must be cursed. I say that the enemy may attack in the north, and immediately an attack comes from the north. I say there may be issues with enemy cavalry. Immediately I hear that they're apparently routing some of my cavalry. I swear I must be cursed. But anyway, do you have any other questions, or?
yeah, so was this what were you preparing for this, or did you expect this? It seems like there's been an Austrian cavalry attack from the north against Vianney's flank.
I was expecting them to attack us. I think as long as this area has not collapsed yet, we can deal with it. I will have to talk with Viavi though before I know what the full situation is up here. I see that some French unit seems to have. Yeah, I'll have to ask him what's going on.
Your orders, my general, or what do you do? Sorry.
I need to talk with Viavi first.
Okay, I will move you to. I don't know. I don't know if Viavi is actually a human player or not.
I think
But
Viavi was actually just recently incapacitated in the recent attack.
oh, okay. I'll move you to the nearby commanders though that you should be co-located with.
All right.
Alright, so there goes the Commander-in-Chief MacDonald. So it looks like the French beginning plan has changed somewhat. As it was originally to attack Villanova in force and only send the feint to Suave, but currently due to the enemy presence in the north and especially their flanking attacks, the French have been forced to send more and more forces towards the north. But in the south there is quite a significant amount of troops, so it is very possible that the French attack them will be able to break through, even though the terrain might be a bit difficult at the moment. Well, not at the moment, forever, since there is quite a literal river between the French and the Austrians. I wonder who to converse with next. Perhaps the Austrian Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Archduke John, could now talk with us. Where is he?
Hello.
Hello.
Good day.
Good
So, Archduke John and Commander von Colorado Mansfeld, where do you happen to be currently?
I happen to be at the north of Suave, and he too.
Same for me.
Alright, Your Excellency, we didn't really get to do a full recap of the situation, but can you explain again what was your plan for today and how it has currently changed up to this moment?
All right. My original plan, since I did not know where the enemy did deploy and I wanted to use the advantage of the bridges, was to spread out my army a bit so that we can react everywhere. But in case the enemy does a concentrated attack at some place, I did position the more mobile forces at the far south and the far north, the cavalry, so that they could also make a counterattack, scout ahead, or delay the enemy on the other side of the river. I did position most of our artillery to the north, which now proved to be a bit problematic as the enemy attack is further to the south. But for that reason, we are now attempting a counterattack from the north through Vitória and also now from Suave a little bit. Yeah, so I think it has been playing mostly out as expected. The enemy did a relatively concentrated attack around the highway. They are now sending some units to Suave. We did have some units that could hold them off, but they seem to be having problems there. At least I got some reports, and there's some significant advantage to the enemy, I think, from what I've been seeing. So now I feel the situation is a bit chaotic. I don't really know what's going on. And in case that the south is really going not so well, since we have way too many units positioned at the north, we will be very aggressive going from the north and hope to catch the enemy off guard while he's attacking the bridges at the south.
I see. So, did the enemy proceed from the beginning of the battle to how you predicted, or have there been any surprises for you and your army?
If there were any surprises, I did not hear of them. But yeah, I expected them to either spread out or make a concentrated attack. They went for the concentrated attack. After noticing that they cannot concentrate as much, I think they pushed some of their units who didn't do anything to attack Suave as well. Nothing surprising there. they just have a lot of reserves. So I did not notice anything surprising. If there is anything, then it will surprise me soon.
I'd be interested to hear on different parts of the battlefield. What do you think the situation is? So, starting from the south, south of near Bonifacio, what do you think the situation around Bonifacio is currently? Where do you think
All right.
friendly brigades are currently?
So our cavalry with von Altensteig was supposed to cross the river and harass the enemy from there. I did get a report that he wasn't doing too well, so he might be destroyed and retreated back on our side, but he should be somewhere southwest of San Bonifacio. Marziani did say that he was moving some units to the hill southwest of San Bonifacio, but I expect those to have retreated at this point, and he should be retreating. He should be protecting the bridges at San Bonifacio. Von Gajoli, which originally started in San Bonifacio as a reserve, I hope he did send some of his units to the north. He really should, because if he didn't, I would be very angry. So he's supposed to be supporting Kalnassi at this time, because there was really the main enemy attack at that point. Kalnassi was supposed to be at the highway too and defending that one. Then north of that, Gavassini should be at Chiesca. I did see him there just a moment ago, so he should be there. He did have some problems when he was attacked by a large enemy force. So things might have been broken a little bit there. I hope our lines of communication were not crossed, but we did deploy so that my second commander in San Bonifacio could take care of the south, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference as we were splitting up the command. And I think that would be it for the south.
So, what about in the north near Suave, and from that point on?
Right. So I was basically pushing all of the cavalry we have at the north to San Vittore. I'm not sure if Splenigi, with most of our cavalry, with 8 or so cavalry regiments, is already there. He was deployed at the far north at the beginning of the game, and I'm not sure how he didn't move and if my letters arrived at his location, because he was probably very mobile and he was supposed to get behind enemy lines. Van Volkmann and Van Wetzel did move into San Vittore recently, and we have seen that they started to make some counterattacks with their cavalry against the enemy forces that were west of Suave. West of Suave, I did see there was quite a successful counterattack, so we are trying to move from Colorado Mansfield's units over the river as well to start maybe rolling up the enemy from the side. And then Kleinmeyer to the south was also attacked by some French units. He did deploy some skirmishes on the other side of the river, defending the houses there to delay the enemy until he could deploy his own artillery first. That worked out, although it did rout one of his units, and he did retreat after that. Now the enemy starts fighting with him, and I hope he's holding those bridges. He should be doing well. I did not see any significant enemy superiority at that place. And yeah, since von Wetzel did an attack with his cavalry, I do expect that the situation around San Vittore is relatively stable, because I hope they would not try to do something like that if the situation was bad. So I hope that our situation is quite well here in the north, and we should be ready to move south soon.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, you're also accompanied by a brigade commander, General von Colorado Mansfeld. Are you here, von Colorado Mansfeld? Oh, there you
Yes,
are.
I'm here.
Alright, so you've been only a mere brigade commander from what I understand. Can you tell me about what the experience has been for you currently, in comparison to what you think it has been to be like, it has been for like the commander-in-chief of the whole army?
Well, this is my first experience of being deployed into the actual battle. And to be honest, for the first time, I think everything is going the plan and everything is going great.
Did you have any expectations to what Kriegsspiel might be like before you got into this game? As I understand, it is your first game.
Well, I expected that it would be a tactical game, like the Total War, where you deploy armies. But here it has the element that fog of the war, so you clearly don't know what positions does the enemy take, and I think it brings more joy to it and more surprise element.
What do you think, speaking of surprises, what do you think is happening on the other sides of the front? Have you gotten any messages or anything from your brothers in arms?
Well, currently I haven't got any messages, but as I got the information from His Excellency, currently the French armies are trying to attack the San Bonifacio and other cities in southern front, and we are trying our best to defend them.
Well, the enemy still hasn't taken your position yet, so it seems like you're doing a pretty good job of defending, even though it is your first game. You said you have played Total War, for example, before joining the IKS, so how did you find it was like getting familiar with Kriegsspiel compared to other games? Was it difficult for you?
Well, not really. It was the same. I think the experience with Kriegspiel was much more friendly because I had other people to assist me during my operations. When I played the Total War games, I mostly played in a single player. As such, I would have to follow other YouTube tutorials as such to really understand the game mechanics.
Okay, well, I thank you both for your time, and I hope to see you both in future games, and I'll likely return to you two in an hour or two of game time. Okay, so again, that was from the point of view of two players in a battle where there are 30 commanders in total. We can go over the big picture a bit. So it is now 13:15, so quite a lot of time has passed. The French in the north seem to be under quite a lot of pressure by the Austrian cavalry near their flank. And actually Austrian infantry as well, since Austrian infantry has also made it over that bridge in the north, Saint Vittoria, and the French are starting to be quite thinly spread here. They have committed to the north though, sending what I think was described as an entire corps to the north. So they're in now and they're in the north. So I hope they are quite some distance away from the rest of the friendly army. So I think it really will depend on if the French will be able to defend or if the Austrians are able to punch through the French line of defense, which could be quite disastrous for the rest of the French forces in the south. There are even a lot of wagons on the in between the French and French in the north and the Franco-Italian forces in the south, so there isn't really anything in between at the moment. In the south, though, the French cavalry under Grouchy has been able to repel the Austrian cavalry, and it seems like the Franco-Italian forces are continue concentrating on the main highway bridge. The artillery fire seemingly has ceased, though. Looks like the artillery itself has actually was forced to retreat. One of these symbols represents that the unit is basically in disorder and retreating to the rear. So it could go. The situation could definitely deteriorate for the Austrians, and as they barely have barely a brigade in the area, while the rest of their troops are in Saint Bonifacio. I shall actually go talk to the commander of the French cavalry, de Grouchy, about what he's doing currently. Oh, he's with quite a lot of commanders, so I'm gonna go listen in to this congregation of generals.
Just watching the bridge and the north flank in case there's an attack. So it'll be a 2 and 2. Well, 2 in one direction, 2 in the other direction. Double line so that there's nice padding. Making sure that nothing comes across. And the artillery will continue to shoot at any enemies on the other side of the bridge and river that are within range. Bertoletti should also form squares and consolidate with the light infantry so that they can protect the south and southeast flank from any incoming enemy cavalry.
Sure.
Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right.
Did you give commands to the artillery?
Yeah, the artillery is just to keep firing at any enemies that are within range.
All right.
All right. And 5th Corps, have you already told your other division to move north?
I sent a dispatch to do so, but now I don't think that's as good of an idea. The cavalry are pulling back.
What?
The cavalry are pulling back. The northern cavalry.
It's fine. I'm almost certain that the enemy, like, if the enemy in the north just retreats, then fair enough. We can go back to the other plan. But if not, then I want to concentrate our force up there and destroy them. So yeah, move your entire corps up north. Grouchy should be moving his cavalry north too. I think what we'll do is hit them with the infantry and then have the cavalry either split them in half or hit them in the flank. I'm not really sure where the enemy line really is. I've been getting some somewhat confusing dispatches from Lecce about that. So we'll see about it.
Cyrus
Anyway,
is telling me that he's in perfect position at Villanova.
Yeah, that's fine. Send him north.
Okay. Yeah, I already did. I just got the dispatch.
You can probably, for this turn, you can go over to him and just clarify the situation, that we're sending everything we can spare up north to attack the Austrians there.
Okay.
Attack the Austrians on our side of the river.
I'd like to ride south to try and meet.
Okay, I'll leave that voice channel for a bit too, as there's a lot of things going on. So it currently seems like the French troops, Franco-Italians, are quickly reorientating their cavalry division to face the north, as it seems like they realize what is happening there. I'm quite sure actually if the attack is still going on across Villanova. And to answer, Emanuele Davali wrote in the chat, did the Austrian cavalry in the south really attack through the rice fields? And yeah, it seems so. The rugged terrain on the south definitely didn't seem to be doing the Austrians any favors, as they've now been just reorganizing for the last half an hour or so, it seems like. Actually, since there's so many people conversing in that channel, we're gonna go quickly to General Grouchy, who was the commander of the cavalry in the south. Hey, General Grouchy.
Hello.
I'm here to converse with you a bit about the situation. I hear that some time ago you defeated an Austrian cavalry force in the south. Is this true?
Yeah, we just charged. They came out of the swamp completely exhausted because marching through a swamp is a stupid idea, and we just immediately obliterated them with a devastating cavalry charge. I led from the front. We then carefully regrouped, did a little bit of scouting, and now we're moving north.
So sounds like the battle has been going pretty well from your point of view then.
Yeah, pretty much. Not much has really happened outside of the cavalry charge. I've just been sitting around for a lot, but it's been fine. I'm quite happy with how it's going.
Have you been kept in the reserve then, or where have you been?
I've just been by Villa Bella, mostly in reserve. Yeah, I've been a sort of reactionary force. Hence why I attacked the Austrians once they attacked at us.
Did the Austrian attack to the army's flank come in any surprise for you, or were you expecting this?
We didn't expect them, but we saw them long before they ever had a chance to attack. So we didn't expect them to do it at the start of the game, but once they started moving, it was clear what they were trying to do.
So you've been commanding your cavalry quite well then. If there's been only one engagement in this battle so far for you, and you won it, so have you commanded cavalry before?
I have not commanded cavalry directly before, but I've played a lot of play-by-post games, or I'm playing a lot of play-by-post games as divisional and corps commander. So I've had cavalry under my command, which I've had to manage before, and I do also have quite a good grasp on actual Napoleonic tactics. I've read a lot of books. I've read On War and a lot of after-action reports, and I've spectated quite a few games, but I haven't played any live games yet, so this is kind of new.
Do you feel the experience any different from play-by-post games compared to live games then?
Yeah, it's a lot more confusing. With play-by-post, I know sort of exactly what's happening, but because of technical issues and stuff, not any fault of the format, but just, there are difficulties of doing this online. It's been a bit more confusing. But I have enjoyed being able to play a battle at a faster pace, even though it takes sort of more time out of my day. I haven't had much opportunity because most of them are run on the North American side and I'm European. So it's usually in the middle of the night, so it's quite nice to have one that I can actually come to and play.
Yeah, being the International Kriegsspiel Society, I guess, having games from all around the world. So you had mentioned that you had prior to this game commanded actually entire corps. So you were a pretty high level commander before. Now you're only yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've actually been commander in chief a couple of times but nothing really much bigger than a couple of corps.
I see. So do you have any as you're being commanded by General MacDonald, have you realized any differences there are in how commander-in-chiefs command their armies? Is there like have you noticed that you would have done something differently? Currently it seems like the whole army's plan was to concentrate in the south on the highway and do a feint in the north, but it has changed quite a bit.
I've quite liked what McDonald's done. He's sort of moved back and forth and kept everyone informed, and he's kept the plan mobile and able to be adaptable. I've watched a lot of games where the commander-in-chief has sort of sat there and stuck to the same plan. But I'm quite happy that he has been able to be more flexible and sort of move around, and I sort of what I would have done. I'm very happy with his command.
What did you think about the overall plan, and what do you think the situation is currently all around the battlefield for you?
The original plan was good, and I think what's coming now is good, of sort of beating back what we think is this encirclement. I think it's an encirclement because they're clearly trying to attack from the north and the south at the same time. But the current plan of us beating them back in the south, then moving to concentrate and beat back the north, and then we can sort of just charge on all fronts, is good. I'm a bit baffled by the Austrians since they moved through a swamp with their cavalry. Something I would not have done. But you know,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't expect it.
Yeah. Speaking of expectations, do you have any? How do you think the battle will go for the next an hour or so? Especially for you and your cavalry. What do you think you will be doing?
I think that what will probably happen is that my cavalry will, will move north, and then when we are needed, we will engage the enemy, and we'll beat them back because we're sort of a quick reaction force. We're exploitative rather than just going in randomly. So I trust in McDonald's ability to time attacks, and I will obey his orders. And I think that we will win the battle, and that I will get to do a few more cavalry charges, but I won't have to fight any prolonged engagements.
I see, yeah. Seems like a reasonable thing for cavalry to avoid is prolonged engagement with how you are primarily a shock weapon at this moment. Before I leave you and your division for a while, do you have any last remarks?
No, I don't think so. I think that it's going to go well. I think we're going to win. But other than that, yeah, it's just been fun. It's a good game.
All right. Hopefully you will keep enjoying it. See you in a bit.
Hopefully.
All right, so it seems like some of the commanders on the field have perhaps distinguished themselves quite well. He was the Grushi after all we're talking about, so not just any other commander. In the north, meanwhile, the situation has been developing quite a lot. The troops of, I think, von Colorado Mansfeld, who we were talking to earlier, have now moved up to the slaughtered Italian artillery and are now advancing onto the French troops. The lines aren't too thick on the on either side really, but looks like both sides are only skirmishing for now, so it is not perhaps as bloody combat as it could be. So really it could go any other way. The Austrians do have their artillery, which they seem have just gotten positioned inside the town, which is never an easy thing to do. It looks like even the town itself has been on fire for a long time, at least the southern part of it. Oh, and looks like Dutree's big brigade has also solidified its position in the south, and the Austrian grenadiers have fallen back from the bridge. Meanwhile, the Austrian cavalry and the infantry is amassing quite hard, and General Lecce is commanding the cavalry to cover the rear. There is the whole of the the French cavalry division coming to support the friendly troops in the north. So it's really going to be interesting if the French are able to save the forces in the north, because this could be quite bad for the French. Actually, I think I will go talk with General Lecce, as he's currently on his own and basically defending the rear of the friendly army. Hey, General Lecce, are you there? You seem to be muted at the moment, so I'm not sure if you've taken a quick break from the game. Okay, I think you're gone for a bit. Let's see who else we could talk to then. Oh,
hello, sir. Sorry. I was just I had my earphones off.
Oh, no problem. Oh, you're back. And I think your umpire is about to come here soon as well to deliver your next update. I would be interested to see what you think the current situation is and how things are going for you. Oh, but your umpire is here, so.
If you want the answer to that question, I think for me, it's going badly. For the other team, hopefully they crossed in. For my other friends, hopefully they crossed into, the main point, but I'm not sure. So, oh no. Hopefully this is a case of smaller, like my smaller people in winning. Anyways, hello, Sir Decimus.
Hello, General Lecce. You are still at the same position as basically for the last hour, or I think even 2 hours. You ordered your cavalry to disengage. You managed to do that more or less because the enemy is so far holding position. At least the enemy cavalry did not attempt any counter move to you. But of course, such a move is never completely without any consequences. So you can see some disorder within the cavalry, but nothing major as of this moment. Your infantry is holding position. The enemy infantry is advancing, but is currently not yet in range to engage with rifle fire, musket fire. And to your right, the artillery battery has begun to open fire at extreme range and is doing some minor damage.
Cool. Am I still hearing cannon fire far to my back?
You do hear some cannon fire on your right, so towards Soave, but it's changing. So it's not the same thing as it was 2 hours ago. It's not the same as it was 1 hour ago. So you can definitely assume that something is going on there.
Okay, I think that considering the fact that the French Voltigeur regiments are moving, means that I need to pull back and I need to form a line with them. Shit. I think I need some time again.
No problem. Take your time, study the map, and I will be back for this.
Alright, thank you. Anyways, yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah, so General Lecce, what do you think you will do now? We can converse the overall situation a bit after your umpire has gotten your orders.
Stress? Hopefully I can requisition those French Voltigeurs. And I hope to God that Debrief isn't thinking horrible things, like pulling without notifying me the ass if he doesn't. God, I hope he doesn't actually pull without notifying me. If that does happen, I'm going to cry. Anyways, I think I think honestly, my thing that the only thing I can do is like pull. I can't do anything. I can't hold that. Like sure, I have guard, Italian guard, Capitoli da Peli, Capitoli, but they're not Guardia di Onore. They're not the guard, which I'm pretty sure that's the other guy right behind us, like Veliteriali. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem that I can't I can't tell them to pull back yet, considering that it's all falling apart. Considering I the guy who was supposed to coordinate all of this is fucking got shot. Who was it? Vicky? Vianney. Yeah, Vianney fucking got shot twice now, and so it's very disorganized. But the only thing I can do is either hold and die, or hold, or pull back and form with the artillery.
So you don't really have the most positive outlook on the situation currently.
That's not exactly true. With my situation, no. With it's a small picture, big picture problem. In the small picture, I'm screwed. In the big picture, the fact that they're focusing 2 attack divisions on what is essentially a half force, it gives me hope that hopefully the Austrians are getting a bit of problems in Bonifacio, in S. Bonifacio, like the main city.
Okay.
So yeah, if I'm getting fucked, it means that the Austrians are getting fucked in Bonifacio. That's my hope.
Yeah, that's a reasonable
problems in Bonifacio.
opinion on the outlook on the situation, I think so.
Yeah. So while I am in despair, it's not without, hope.
Let's see. I think I will come back to you in a moment.
One last thing, Mr. Otomsky.
Yep.
What did you eat?
Oh, I was eating some salad. But
Nice.
Yeah, Decimus, you can go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't want to disturb your salad discussion. It sounded very, very interesting.
No, it was a quick thing. It was a quick thing, don't worry.
Sorry. Do you have any orders at this time?
Yes, I ordered my infantry to pull back completely. Line up 100 paces right in front, to the side of artillery.
Mm-hmm.
To the left. The artillery, yeah. And then hopefully those are
Okay, seems like General Lecce is under quite a lot of pressure in the north, as he was originally part of the Feint Force, which likely wasn't committed that many troops, and as he's giving all his orders to for his infantry to fall back, he's of course unaware of the fact that in the next 15 minutes, which is the turn that is being resolved, the Austrian cavalry and the Austrian infantry are charging him, and he's way behind the friendly troops, nearly, well, over 2,000 paces away, which I think is about, actually, I think it might be 1.5 kilometers or something like that, which is a great distance for him. His artillery has been also cut down. These are grenadiers and chasseurs of the guard, so quite expensive troops. Perhaps they will be able to defend against the Austrian attack, but we'll see what happens. Oh, looks like nothing positive as the grenadiers are now running back. So looks like I hope we'll get to talk to General Lecce later, because his fate might be might have a lot of asterisks with it, as I'm not sure if he's going to survive. As I hope the enemy cavalry at least is not able to pursue him, but we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, in the center, it seems like the Italian attack is slowly eating away, or I'm not sure what would be the good word for English for this, but basically, to put it simply, it seems like the Austrians are not doing too well, as half of the force there has retreated to the rear, but it is now at least recovering. Meanwhile, there's a giant, well, not really that big, but a considerable engagement near Suave, as it seems like the French and the Austrians have both deployed skirmishers. Oh, I see. Emmanuel has educated me a bit on pronunciation of Lecce. In Italian, CH is followed by I or E is pronounced like K. So I think it's actually General Lecce. Lecce? Hopefully he will correct me on that. His situation is bad enough. I hope he isn't being insulted by how I'm pronouncing his name. But back to the south, we could maybe converse with the Austrian commanders in the south about as they're not having a breather, and have mostly, hopefully, reorganized their cavalry, since they had that quite poor cavalry charge and all. Hey, General von Altenstieg, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I'm here to converse with you about the battle bit, and can you tell me what are you currently doing, and how's the situation for you?
Well, in regards to the battle, I presume you know I lost. It was bad orders, so I said to move to Casona and then move to Tigray. I don't know how to pronounce that, but the very long S name just south of Lionstella. But evidently that was taken as advanced to, you know, like I didn't know the word for the orchard, I think it is, next to Lionstella, and I was like advanced on the road around that from Tigrafina, but that was taken as just advanced around. So my troops went straight through a swamp, and the first thing I knew of it was when my like Ford squadrons hit the French cavalry and French infantry and everything, and then I'm a first-time player, so I panicked a little bit, and I tried to form a line, a very bad one. And now I've been regrouping for the past half hour, 3/4 of an hour at this point, and yeah, moving hopefully to exploit the weakness in their line now.
Yeah, so it looks like there was a miscommunication, which is all too common in warfare.
Yeah, no, it really blasted me because I was like, follow the roads and straight through a swamp. Which, yeah, I mean, it was poorly worded orders from me. It was no fault of anyone other than myself.
Did you have any reaction from high command, from the Archduke himself, to your situation?
No, I have gotten no information that anyone even knows the battle is going on. I mentioned it to General Major Maziani, that I had been broken and was retreating to the hills southwest of San Bonifacio. But other than that, nothing. I just sent a dispatch because I'm just regrouping to the Archduke to inform him that we were broken, but our forces are intact. As I have been informed that I've lost very little men. It was merely, broke upon seeing the enemy charging.
Yeah, well, I guess the swamp came on your side at that point. Then it was
Yeah,
hard
the
to
swamp
pursue
prevented them from chasing me. Yeah, which is lucky.
What do you think?
It's a stroke of strategic genius. We attack through the swamp so we can't be chased when we lose.
Yeah. Do you have any estimation on when your troops will be back in order, ready to fight again?
So the forces around Bonifacio, up near that hill, are already regrouped from what I hear. And I had 2 squadrons in reserve, which are blocking the other retreating forces from attempting to get across the river. And we should be good to go, hopefully, in the next turn or 2, as reflected in the dispatch I just sent to High Command.
I see. Do you think the battle is going as poorly on the other sides of the front as it is for you, or what do you think the overall situation is?
I mean, like, you can look in my channel, I can see that the issue that we had in like our briefing, our meeting before the battle had started, was that we didn't have enough forces on San Bonifacio. And when my forces first crossed the swamp, oh boy, were there a lot of enemies at San Bonifacio. So I saw like supplies for at least 5-6 regiments sitting there, which I know as a fact is probably more than we have in Bonifacio. But other than that, if they're all down here, hopefully we can do something up top. Hopefully. But it's not looking good down here, so hopefully it's better up top. That's just what I gotta say. I don't wanna think that we're losing, but I think I'll get shot by the commissars of the Austrian army here. But
Yeah.
It's not looking good from my perspective, is all I'd say.
Yeah, thankfully the Archduke hasn't established any commissars from what I know, but do you have any expectations on, or what do you think you will be doing next?
So, from what I understand, it seems like I'm just facing 2 Italian cavalry, I believe that is. I'm not entirely sure, I can't read it. Just 2 Italian cavalry units, facing... Ooh. Hold on, I've just gotten an update, sorry. It's not looking good, but it seems like they've considered me toast. They think I'm gone, which I might be able to exploit with the remaining forces that I have. So I was thinking of going further, possibly west, and then attempting to push down, push back onto the rear of their forces, hopefully. Or if it appears that they've left this flank, then I'll just attempt to go for a breakthrough into Villa Bella with communications to San Bonifacio.
Right, well, thank you, and I will keenly follow on how your next maneuvers go. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I need to now hurry and towards the other portions of the battlefield as the updates are just being sent out. Let's see who we can make it to before. Or maybe let Key.
Attack against your outnumbered infantry and also against the artillery to your right, and you are completely and utterly routed. So your men stand no chance at holding this overwhelming force. There's cavalry to your front, there's cavalry to your right, there's cavalry all around, and you don't have anything to basically hold against them. You do some damage, but before long, you are totally pushed back, and your men all around you run to the rear for their lives. Yeah, No, I guess there are no questions, so I shall be back shortly.
Alright.
Okay, so General Lecky, how's the situation? What happened?
Fuck. But I got my cavalry out, which is kind of important. Although losing artillery and infantry is kind of bad. At this point, I might just say I surrender.
So nothing really good coming out of this situation, you think?
Yeah, nothing really.
Do you have...
Kept my cavalry next to me, but at the same time, I needed to do something anyways. Hello, sir.
Hello, Otto. Are you busy right now?
I'm not busy. We can talk. Yeah.
We need another player if possible. If not, I have someone else who can take over. Walkman had to go.
Okay. Yeah.
There's someone else who can take over his command, but he'd rather someone else took it. But he's fine to take it.
Yeah. Is it possible you can handle that?
Yes, I am. I was just wondering if you knew if anyone wanted to join.
I don't have anyone in mind. You can maybe, if there's a player near them, you can give his command to them.
You know, that's what I'm talking about. I was wondering if you knew because he'd rather someone else did it, but he's fine doing it. So I just wanted to ask first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't think of anything, so I think. Yeah. I got faith in you. You can handle it.
Alright.
Alright, so we shall leave General Lecky. So he didn't really have the most possible outlook on his current situation, and it's no surprise he's quite outnumbered and overextended, and looks like he's lacking support as well. This is likely not bearing anything good for the rest of the French and Italian flank in the north. It's getting a bit late, so some players had to drop out. For example, General Walkman on the Austrian side, it seems like, has had to leave, but we'll see if we can get a replacement player for him, as there are players from all kinds of time zones throughout the world. So who to converse with next, I wonder. Yeah, Emmanuel. Good thing that the French cavalry has been already moved north. Yeah, they could maybe, salvage this situation somewhat. And still the main thrust is ongoing in the south. Albeit it is taking a while, it seems like. Perhaps the Austrians have been doing quite a good job in delaying the enemy. And in the north, the Austrians, meanwhile, are getting quickly back into Suave, it seems like. Oh, and the Italian troops of the Napoleon dragoons have actually beaten back some of the hussars that were in the west. Looks like there are more Austrian cavalry in the area though, so really anything could happen there. The French and the Italians could be caught out of position since their flank is weak. Oh, and it looks like the Austrians are actually going in. Yeah, this could really go any other way. It seems like the Austrians are a bit disordered. They likely rode to this area with haste. But so are the Italians. They also just completed a charge, but looks like maybe one unit was not was kept in back, as they are not disordered, but they have suffered some damage to the morale, which this symbol represents. So really, we'll have to see what happens there later. Oh, what on earth? Looks like simultaneously all of the wagons have been put aflame, even though that might be a bit difficult to do, to be frank. Setting flame that much wagons, I'm not sure if the empires are going to keep going with that. Well, we'll see. Maybe Maybe those were gunpowder wagons, and somebody light up their pipe near them. In any case, that represents the same thing, which is that the Italians are not doing too well and have been pushed back. But looks like Grouchy's cavalry though is moving quickly into position though, probably riding as quickly as they can to face the enemy. Meanwhile, another brigade is being sent towards Suave, and the French and the Italian and the Austrians still continue marching to Suave. Now let's stop looking at their great grand scale things, and let's go to talk to one lone brigade commander, and that would be Brigade Commander Gaioli, who has been defending the highway in the south. Hello, are you there, General von Gaioli?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I would be interested to hear what the battle is going for you. Seems like the highway in the south is still intact. Have you been facing a lot of enemy forces?
No, we haven't. So from my POV, what's happening is like first the French lines, the French attacked in two places. They sent an Italian battalion over towards the north of the river. Uh, yeah, just not from our position. So they sent the considerable Italian corps over there, and then use the rest of the army to march south and attack from there. So I'm coming under a bit of pressure right now, but it's just artillery and supported by a few infantry divisions. So it's probably just one brigade, or like one brigade versus one brigade. So nothing major.
Okay, so do you think you will be able to hold your position then?
If there is more considerable reinforcements in the form of infantry, then probably not. I'll fight a rear guard action to the north. But other than that, for now, it's holding because the enemy has more artillery than infantry.
What do you think do you think you have been doing your task well in this battle? You haven't been given that many resources, it seems like.
I mean, it's like I had eight regiments of infantry, but it's like I have to be like, so I have 8 regiments of infantry, so I had to split it with my second in command, and I've literally been traveling between like this place right now and the south at San Benedicto.
How do you think the battle is going on the other sections of the front then? Have you been conversing with other fellow commanders at all?
Yes, I have been conversing with, I wanted a status report from Oldensteg. So I'm just gonna, depending on this round, like what's gonna happen, I'm probably going to send out a missive. Uh, I'm just going to give them a status report currently because, I'm getting bombarded by a lot of artillery. So I don't know if they're bringing up a second core or something against me.
What do you think of what do you think what do you think about the rest of the army's perception on your situation? Do you think you have been supported enough, or have you been left on your own?
I've definitely been like it's more like this. It's like just standing in a quiet place, hoping that nothing happens, and boom, something's happened, and you're like, okay, oh hell, the rest of the army is in different places trying to defend. So I am currently in not a very in a pretty enviable position as compared to what is happening at Chiesa or San Benedicto. That may change soon.
I see. Do you have any predictions on what you will be doing for the next hour or so, or how the situation will be developing?
Yes, it's either going to be retreating the north or holding position.
Okay. Do you have any last remarks before I leave you to lead your men?
No, I think I think I mean, enjoy the game, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Good luck to you, and hopefully you'll keep on enjoying the experience.
So this this is a weekly thing, or like this very battle, or is this just a one time?
We have we have games every week here. Open Saturday is our regular game, which is hosted every Saturday. But this Friday game, meanwhile, wasn't really planned ahead. It was sometimes umpires like to host games kind of spontaneously. And
Yeah.
is this your first game then?
Yep, this is my first.
How did you find the IKS then?
The YouTube video, the latest one.
Okay, well, this will also be on YouTube, so I hope you will be able to reflect or compare how you are doing on this, as a spec on this game, and hopefully to see you on
let's see.
Yeah, hope to see you in any future games as well.
Yeah, sure. No.
Yep, I will now leave you to continue defending your position, and I'll see you later. So yeah, the highway has been held for some time, but looks like the Italians have been able to break through one of the bridges and are currently making it across. Oh, it looks like some of the Austrians are shaking in their boots currently of Angoyoli's command. And I think these troops here in the north also belong to his command. So, oh man. Unfortunately for Von Gaioli, looks like the enemy is getting across, but fortunately for the Italians and the French, they are getting across. There are simply just so many of them. Meanwhile, in the north, it looks like the wagons are purely now scattered and no more actually burning. It's a bit difficult to burn a wagon after all, so looks like their crews have just been left. But man, the fields are starting to be under Austrian control. It really is. Oh, but looks like the Franco-Italian cavalry has been beaten back, but the already disordered Austrian hussars have also been disordered in the process. Really, it's quite an interesting. There's been quite a lot of movement this battle, with the plan being quite concrete, just push towards the southeast from Caldiero for the French, and now the feint in the north has been evolving into quite a bloody battle. But still, they are sticking in the south. They have still stick with basically their main plan, which is to get across the highway road in the south. I see there's a new comment. There's been quite a few, but I haven't been keeping track of everything. But what do the players use? Like physical maps and tokens. And I see that there was also before that. Is this player on Tabletop Simulator? So the players usually have their own tabletop simulator, games hosted in single player where they will move their pieces to as according to trying to follow the situation according to what the umpires show them. So, for example, this is the text channel of Gaioli. The player has basically been seeing these points of view. Pretty small pretty small part of the whole battlefield. Looks like he's been areas for gunpowder smoke or somewhat. And here's another player being able to see more. And basically, the players in their own single player games move their pieces, trying to kind of replicate the situation. And you don't need Tabletop Simulator to play. You can simply, you could even print out a map and draw on it. I think some players have done that, or you can play on your phone. You only really need to be able to hear the umpire and need to have Discord to follow the process of the game. So yeah, that's how the game works. If anyone wishes to try it try it out themselves, you can usually join a game by. Sorry, my voice keeps breaking because, man, I'm not built for this long period casting. But yeah, you can easily join any game if you wish. Just check out that website in kriegsspiel.org and feel free to join any game you wish. Now I think it's time to return to the commander-in-chiefs, and I think let's see who we start with. Let's go to General Grouchy and General MacDonald, who I think are over here, facing, seeing basically how the Italian troops are getting cut down. They've already suffered 45% casualties there, which doesn't possibly killed or wounded or just missing from the battlefield. And they have also completely surrendered, it seems like. So 2 entire battalions lost, unfortunately. Now let's go listen.
Coming up towards Soave from the south. Yeah, and I'm directing that division to go and go help everybody.
Yes. I see. I know where. Okay, I see where I am now.
Hey, Generals Grouchy and MacDonald. Long time no see. How do you think what's your situation like? I see that you are both with the Cavalry division.
I think this is the decisive moment. Sorry to interrupt, but I think this is it.
We're about to make one of the great cavalry charges of the war, should we? Hopefully. Well, I am.
So essentially, the north.
Hello, orders, please.
Yes.
My entire cavalry force is to attack. They are to clear.
Do you have a general concentration, or just chase all the cavalry?
Clear. Try
through
and
the cavalry, attack whatever's behind it if it's vulnerable.
Yeah. Smash through the cavalry, attack anything in column or disrupted behind it, and only don't attack infantry in square, essentially.
Alright.
I will lead from
do you
the
want
front.
to split them evenly, or do you want to have one regiment, 2 regiment attacks here?
Do definitely. I think just concentrate down the center.
We're just,
I mean, I leave it
it's
to
not
your
splitting. It's just
making, but...
we're not splitting. We're just attacking as a wall.
Okay.
So
basically, whatever.
As we are formed up,
yeah,
charging.
the thing is that we can't really see what exactly is ahead of us. So whatever is ahead of us and vulnerable, that's going to be attacked.
Are you leading from the front?
Yes, of course.
And where are you going? Marshal.
I made a deal with Blazer that I was allowed to ride my horse into the ground, but now I'll be very limited in my movements for a turn. So I will be trying my best to catch up.
So you're sticking here then, okay. Okay.
I would probably lead it from the front if I could. But
Pardon?
nothing.
Okay.
So, Otto, essentially what I think right now is happening is that the Northern Front has come under immense pressure from, I think, the majority of enemy attacking forces. Our cavalry has arrived just in time and formed up just in time, thanks to Grushi, who is, of course, always known for coming on time. And we are going to go all in to try and rescue our beleaguered northern forces and try to smash the disrupted enemy. We also have a fresh division coming up on the road to Suave, who I've ordered to essentially go help our infantry in the north. I have ordered Grushi to clear this cavalry and attack whatever is behind it. And I told him if there is anything less than the Great Wall of China behind that cavalry, I want him to kill it. So that's what he's going to go do.
And I promised the head of an enemy commander. So I'm going to see if I can get one.
Yeah, just don't attack infantry in square. Don't attack a massed formation of infantry, but attack. Because I imagine with the cavalry being disrupted, the infantry is probably repositioning too. They're probably moving to attack our troops just west of Suave. So I think you should be able to catch them repositioning.
I hope. I really do hope.
Luck has nothing to do with it. The plan will work because we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Do you know what the situation is like in the south near the highway? What do you think?
Haven't gotten many reports from them. I saw Fontanelli. What?
I think I do because I was there most recently.
Oh, okay.
It seems like there's some Austrian cavalry moving around the south, but they're not really doing anything, and they seem like a small force. The southern commanders on our side seem to want to attack, but are being cautious as ordered, or defensive as ordered.
I saw Fontanelli skirmishing on the river, which seems to me, yeah, it's not a very good use of our resources. So I basically told 7th Corps Commander to I basically told 7th Corps Commander if he's under heavy pressure or needs help, then Fontanelli should leave one brigade on the river and send the other one south. If he doesn't need help, then Fontanelli should leave one brigade on the river and then possibly send the other one north.
I will say that where Fontanelli is, there is a bridge, a small bridge by Chiska. So there's a chance that he's being attacked by something more significant.
Maybe, but last I just saw it wasn't even with skirmishers. I saw just lines sitting on the riverbank shooting across. So I don't know what's going on. Also, last time I talked with 7th Corps Commander, he had no idea what Fontanelli was doing. He said he didn't know where he was. So I'll be curious to see what... I mean, I can't see him anymore where he used to be. So that's... Actually, now looking at my screenshot, I can kind of see him. He seems... Yeah. So maybe 7th Corps Commander got orders to him. I don't know.
Do you have any... Since you said that this is going to be a decisive moment in the battle, how long do you think the battle will go on for in terms of hours or minutes?
That depends entirely on how many. Well, first of all, our attack will succeed, of course, but hypothetically, if it didn't, then that would prolong the battle for a while as we scramble to repair that. But it will, of course, succeed. And then from there, I think it depends on how many troops they have left on the other side of the river. Because so far, we've just been, as I described earlier, swinging our force south to destroy the pincer there, swinging our force north again to destroy the pincer there. So if they don't have much left on the other side of the river, then the battle should be fairly short. We clean up north, and then we go across the river. If they have more significant forces across the river, then it might take a little bit, because we'll need to reposition ourselves for an attack across the river.
I see. So, thanks for your time, and we'll see how the cavalry attack goes. Perhaps it will go down in history as a glorious success.
One can only hope. Although now that you say that, I'm starting to become very nervous.
Don't worry. Fortune favors the bold, as they say.
Fortune favors the bold indeed.
Okay, so seems like it's been quite good for the French that the Franco-Italian cavalry has been present on the field at the right moment. We'll see how this cavalry combat goes. There's some infantry in the mix. There's also the cavalry, which has just come out of an attack. And the French cavalry is quite numerous, and the French are quite infamous for organizing really large mass cavalry charges. And looks like the French have been able to use their cavalry quite well in that aspect. And the cavalry of Grouchy has from the reserve come just in time to attack the Austrians in the north. Seems like it will actually go down in history as a success. Meanwhile, looks like the Austrian counterattack or probe near Soave has now nearly come to a complete end. It was really only skirmishing, so most of the troops are on have relatively low casualties. This seems like completely negligible. These troops on the flank, though, have suffered some 10% casualties. They're actually from the combined voltige. Sorry, I can't speak French, but the combined light infantry battalions that Eugene, the Viceroy of Italy, historically organized before this battle to chase the enemy. So these are made up of light companies of from actual line regiments. Line battalions. So looks like they've come into good use against the Austrians as the Austrian skirmishers are falling back. In the south, it looks like the Serras troops are now finally starting to push towards the southern end of Soave against Kleinmeier. And at the highway, the Franco-Italian troops are finally breaking through. Looks like the Austrian cavalry has unfortunately not reorganized quite in time. It's proved to be quite a fatal miscommunication, it seems like. Yeah, indeed, Emmanuel typing in the chat. Yeah, the Italians already have two bridgeheads across the river in the center, and both Austrian flanks are stopped. Yep. As the situation kind of on the umpire table seems to be in the clear favor of the Austrians, I'm going to go. Sorry, in clear favor of the French, I mean. I am going to go talk to the Austrians, and especially their Commander-in-Chief, Archduke John.
Hello.
Hello, Your Excellency. I'm here again to ask, where are you actually at this moment?
I I am in the fields west of Soave, south of San Vittore, where we were starting a counterattack on the Italo-French army.
Okay. What have you been hearing lately about the situation on the front? Have you gotten any dispatches or conversed with commanders?
I did get some dispatches. The last one is, well, there have been some units we deployed northwest directly next to Suave. That the person who was in charge of them reported that 2 of their regiments were destroyed, and they had to retreat to the east side of the river again after being attacked. To the south, I think I've heard that there has been a breakthrough at the bridge south of Suave into the flatlands east of southeast of Suave. So they didn't march into Suave yet, but the enemy might be able to move from that position to bring their forces over. Further to the south, I haven't heard too much, though I did hear a good message that the enemy our cavalry wasn't actually disrupted much, but just were disorganized by moving through rough terrain. So if the cavalry is doing well, I think the others might be doing well, although, well, who knows? It's silence. It's very much silence.
How do you think the situation will progress in the next hour then?
It's really depending on what the south is doing. I think the breach at the bridge of Suave doesn't matter too much, since we can hold just Suave, which would be fine. They could move some units to the south from there, which would be problematic, but our forces aren't very close to that.
Archduke John,
Yes.
you ride up through Vittoria, cross the bridge, and head east. As you're coming east, you start really sensing, as you can see the dust clouds go off in the south, the huge amount of French cavalry, which you can see with your own eyes, but you're helpless to do anything from across the river. Completely tear through the friendly lines, and you can see just a lot of smoke and chaos over in the southwest.
All right.
And it's really a devastating amount of like cavalry. It's a lot of riders. To the south, you can see the skirmishing, the smoke of the skirmishing continue, and you can continue to hear the sounds of battle in basically all directions right now, except for like the north, but it's getting harder to
I would be worried if there was something in the north.
I'll be back for orders.
All right, thanks. So yeah, I did hear that.
Was this what as you planned?
I did kind of expect it. Well, I didn't expect it to go this fast, but that's something that always happens, right? If something happens, it happens fast. It is a bit annoying because we have that one division which was supposed to start at the far north, and I don't know where it is. They might have been able to change the outcome of this if they helped the defense. So yeah, this is not good. This is not good. Well, nothing much that we can do about that.
All right.
But I do think
go ahead.
We should still be able to hold the bridge, I hope at least. So if those forces retreat, we might be able to recover from it, since the majority of the French forces are at the south.
I see.
But that would be very optimistic. I do think it's not looking too good. The south could turn around a lot, but I don't think it's looking very nice for us right now.
Yeah, perhaps the tide of the battle will change in your favor. As it seems like it's not doing too, at least in the north, on those open fields, it's not going too well with the cavalry charge, but Yeah, you still do have the river in the north, which you could. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how the situation progresses, and I'll return to you, Your Excellency, later.
All right.
All right. So looks like the Archduke isn't really. Yeah, he. Well, what can you say? The man's cavalry is being fleeing to the north, and the French cavalry is cutting it down. So tough situation. It was a good try going through Saint Vittore. At least there were a good deal of casualties on the Italians. We want to talk from the point of view of the Austrians. Oh, look at that. The Austrian cavalry is on the attack again. They're attacking the cavalry screen. Yeah, I guess this is really the Austrians are really keen on attacking these flanks, certainly. But unfortunately, yeah, there are clear bridgeheads in the center. I'm not sure for how long this battle will be going on for with the current situation, but in the little corners of this whole battlefield, there are still small actions which could deal a lot of casualties to either side. Let's go return to General Lecky, actually, since his command he has lost quite a good deal of his commander, so I wonder how he's doing personally now.
How far north I got?
Hello.
Yes. You see the... Okay, hello, Witowski.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to see what is up with General Lecky. Last time the forces were being charged from the north, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I decided to have my men survive dishonor over death. You know?
Yeah. Is this? I see. There's another commander here. Oh, the Empire. Alright. Go ahead,
Yeah,
KB.
that's what.
Generals, do you have orders?
Yes, I do have my orders, but I also have an admin here. Hi. Yes, so I'm going to send word to the Erzahogs to bring their wine, don't consume it locally, and make their way to Fornello and basically do the same as they did before, set up south of Fornello on the road and see if they see anything. I am going to move my Fremont units and myself up Manbizon to the top and form a line facing west.
Okay. So your cavalry can
charge.
Cavalry can most certainly not climb that hill.
What?
It's too steep.
But not from
Montbison.
not from Fornello.
Cannot be climbed.
They can go around, no? Like
Which are you climbing the one to the east? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm going from Fornello. There's a little road south of Fornello, and then there's a dotted line going up from.
You could perhaps try, but it will take a long time. Also,
Okay,
your
I'm not
cavalry is severely disorganized. They probably
Okay, I'm not
aren't
gonna
fit
do
to
that
move
then.
as a unit quite yet.
Okay, just reorganize. If they reorganize, move along the dotted line towards the town of Bizon, not the mountain, but the town on the western end of it,
Very well.
including myself.
Very well.
Single column on the road. Well, single column as in the companies are in one column. Oh, I also have to do something with Italian. I'll figure that one out. I'll probably send you with the Erzhogs back to probably like St. Vittoria or something.
But yeah, you want to know exactly how far I actually got?
How far did you get?
You see you see Colombara,
Yes.
halfway between Colombara and Sinova.
Oh. So you didn't actually
That's
even get to the river.
yes, because you want to know what I saw immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Austrian infantry and cannons.
Yeah, there was a. I think von Volkmann is there. Holding
Yeah.
the crossings.
So, General Lecky, what's your current situation then?
Prisoner of war along with my Kaketori. Kaketori? I think it's Kaketori and Grenadieri.
Right. Okay, so
Wait.
what did you
Your
become?
entire.
Go ahead.
Sorry, are your entire company surrendered?
Yes, I told them to surrender.
Oh God.
So this
Are
is.
you not on the front lines?
No, I just don't see I assumed that the surrendered companies would show up on the map as
Oh
like
wait,
little
hold on.
units.
Just give me an actual location where you are.
Well, my units are right now in Fornello.
You.
The 3 Fremont Cavalry are right now in Fornello.
Okay, so it looks like General Lecky is now a prisoner of General Spileni. So he's. Yeah. Looks like the cavalry enemy charge didn't go too well for the French there, but. Or the Italians, I should say. Oh, there's still quite a lot of opposition to the Italian crossing though. Actually, let's go talk to von Gaiale to see how he's doing currently. Hey, General Gaiale, how are you doing now?
uh, let's see. That's all I can say. So currently for me, the Italians are trying to cross the bridge. So from what I've heard is that from one of my from Kalnasi, so he's told me that the bridge is that he's going to cross the bridge to reinforce Gavazzini at San Lorenzo. So I may have to pull back sooner rather than later.
So so friendly troops are retreating behind you currently then.
Yeah. So currently, actually, it's like towards the north. Troops are retreating towards San Lorenzo. So I'll have to. I think me as well, right? So I have to pull back sooner rather than later. Honestly.
Okay, is there anyone covering your retreat at the moment?
No, it seems. So my best option is to break the Italians over here and then be like, okay, guys, column formation, let's go.
Yeah, quite a valiant mission you have, basically. Looks like you pulled the
Yeah.
short end of the stick.
Let's see. Let's see. I mean, I'm alone over here, so there's that. But yeah, the one advantage I may have is if the Italians just give me some respite, I'm on the highway, so I can use the highway to retreat as far as I can.
Yeah, at least there are good roads behind you, so that Maybe maybe it was good you were positioned near the highway then. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll see. I'll come back to you in a bit. Possibly possibly when when you have beaten the Italians off the bridge. Yeah, that looks like Aioli is really being left out on his own, since the rest of the forces in the south are preparing to set up a next line of defense near Saint Lorenzo. This is a moment where perhaps the scenario is starting to deviate from history, since I think, well, definitely it already has, but there would be, I think in real life there were Austrian baggage trains in this area, so realistically if the baggage trains were represented here, which I think we have decided to keep them off the map for the sake of clarity of the new players, the basically the supply line of the Austrians would be in grave danger. But let's focus on the small scale thing now, which is the what's happening on the other side of the river Alpone. So General Ruska is the main opponent, I think, that von Gaioli has been facing. So let's go discuss with him how he is doing. I think we haven't even talked to him before. Where is he?
But sure, I'll be there.
You don't have a block.
Oh.
Hello.
I see. Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
So Ruska, please.
Alright, so first off, I'll send Julian to rejoin the back line near the bridge entrance so that he's closer to his men. Give him a little courage and all that.
Okay.
Then, out of the two backline line infantry regiments at that bridge entrance on our side of the bridge, one of them will cross over and help the other guys on the other side. The first regiment that engaged the enemy, the first one that crossed and started skirmishing, that one is going to hold the entrance of the bridge safe and secure. The second one that crossed will then start skirmishing towards the northeast, wherever the enemy may be. The artillery on our side of the river should move about 200 paces down the river line, just so that they can get clear of the smoke and have a clear line of sight again. And I would also like a report from my light cavalry south of Bertoletti, just to make sure that everything is in order down there.
You will get it. You will get it.
Thank you.
So hello, General
Hello.
Ruska.
Yes.
How's the situation at the Villanova Bridge?
Sorry?
How's the situation at the Villanova and the highway bridge at the moment? What are your troops and you doing currently?
So far, it's looking like I crossed the bridge successfully, and I am actively skirmishing against the enemy.
Oh shit.
While my
What the fuck?
What's going on?
You can keep speaking.
Aha!
We've been lied to.
So about that report.
Yeah.
About
thanks.
time.
Uh-huh.
Where's our light cavalry? What happened to them?
Yeah, your cavalry was charged by Austrian cavalry. Really, they were close enough, but no one had time to react. They're running away now.
How
And,
did the enemy get so close without
well,
getting spotted?
They were spotted. They were always at the hill that is south of Saint
Ah, so they didn't have time to report then.
Yeah, and we didn't see.
Okay.
But we're buggered. It's fine.
Yeah, they did have time to report. You knew that there was cavalry there.
Okay. So they didn't tell me then.
Well, there wasn't really anything to tell. You knew that there was cavalry there.
I mean, I knew there was cavalry in the southeast, just not in the southwest. Which is why I had
that
my.
was the same cavalry.
Yeah.
The cavalry in the southeast
I
charged.
think what yeah.
I have my cavalry there scouting specifically so we'd know if there was any movement down there.
In that sense, yes, they weren't able to report they were destroyed before.
Well, that's a damn shame, isn't it? Alright.
Kinda is.
Yeah, cavalries unfortunately can move quite a long distance in the span of 15 minutes.
Yes.
Good to know.
Not that report was necessary because you saw it with your own eyes what was happening.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Anything else needs to be said, or what's going on now?
What's happening at the bridge?
Yes.
Well, the skirmishing continues basically, indecisively so far.
Huh?
And that's it, I presume.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Fuck. Let's make sure McDonald doesn't hear of this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Am I supposed to give orders now, or?
No, we need to think first.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh. I'll definitely write a report. Also, I've been writing letters as from me. Should I write my name instead?
Yes.
All right. Good to know.
Alright. Well. I have a question. How much can a infantry unit move while they are in square formation?
They can't.
They can't? Okay, so they're just going to have to stay put.
Basically. I mean, they
Okay.
can't get into another formation and then move
Which makes them
somewhere else.
weaker to cavalry.
Yes, obviously.
Am I right in assuming that the Gucci artillery battery there is actively engaging the cavalry?
Yes.
That's a
I
decent
have a
thing.
question.
Sure.
Can I send a message that is meant to go to multiple people? First to one person and then he'll go from there to another.
Just paste it several times in the channel and send it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll leave you to think.
Yes.
Alright then.
So what's going on, General Ruska and the Corps Commander? I think you are the commander of the 12th Corps?
Well, of course, yes, but I've completely lost any contact with Fontanelli, but it seems like he's doing fine. But yeah, well, we got a bridgehead over the river, which is doing fine. Just some skirmishing.
Mm-hmm.
But because last time we heard nothing from the south, it's now buggered to figure out what to do next.
Well, I'm thinking Julian and his one line infantry is immediately going to be dispatched and help to help the south. I mean, these guys can probably handle it for a reasonable amount of time with Bertoletti. Since they're in square formation, they're not going to change. I don't know what's going to happen with that artillery, because clearly they've got a cloud now, so they can't see us clearly. But it's fair to assume that they're going to move and continue supporting, which is good. What's the terrain height advantage like? Because I know there's a ridge, but I don't know if it's like a two-sided ridge or if it's kind of just one slope leading to a plateau or something. Yeah, I'd like to know how that dynamic affects ballistics, because if the two artillery batteries near the riverbed can, comfortably look back, I might consider switching one of them to start looking back and shoot at the cavalry. I think right now it's just gonna be holding the bridgehead, and hope that friendlies will take advantage of that and keep moving behind us. Because right now that's our main advantage. We've got the bridge held. Friendlies can come in and help. We've got friendlies coming in from the north since our last report, which means we don't have to worry too much about that northern end. Or at least not as much as we used to. And that's my take on it. What do you think, Sab?
Wait, I've been writing messages.
Okay.
So was this enemy attack from the southeast a surprise for you, or had you prepared for this?
Well,
I had a
didn't
feeling that
think
something fucky was going on when the Empire was withholding information in that end. Which is
it
why,
was a surprise, yes.
yes, it was
That
a
they can move that
surprise.
far if other squares
Yeah, it's the fact that
held
we
it off.
weren't able to spot them with cavalry units nonetheless. Spot them and get a report going. Cavalry is fast, but it's always mine.
Yeah.
I do wonder what happened there.
Yeah, could be. Hopefully the patrolmen didn't just get cut down before
There's
they.
certainly there's a lot of baking going on, not a bakery, sweet stuff going on, that's for sure.
Yep. Well,
the kitchen oven smells very good.
We do it Bertoletti now.
Corps commander of the 12th Corps, do you have any information? You said that you're not really quite aware of what Bertoletti is doing. Oh, sorry, Fontanelli is doing. Do you have any information from the other portions of the front? What do you think is happening?
I have no clue what's happening at Soave or west of it. I know that Fontanelli has crossed at Chixia and is supporting our bridge crossing, kind of.
Okay.
He might be surrounding the units in the north, but other than that, I have no clue what's happening.
It's time for orders.
Well,
I'll let you cook.
Yeah. It's cooking time. Alright. So, Julian is to remain at the bridge, standing near his infantry and the artillery. The one regiment of line infantry that was standing in reserve at the bridge entrance is now going to be redirected south to help reinforce Bartoletti with his wall of square formation line infantry. I don't know what Gucci's artillery is doing over here, but I'm just gonna hope that he helps as much as he can.
Sure.
And as my artillery is actively firing from the edge of the river, I am.
Not actively. You order them to relocate, so they're
Yeah,
not
okay.
firing.
Yeah, okay. So they're gonna be firing next turn, right?
Well, they're gonna be firing next time you receive data.
So how long until they start firing again is the question.
They can start firing basically now, if you want them.
But right now they're not. Wait, what did you say? They're crossing the what?
Can I comment?
No, they're just relocating slightly off to the side, right?
Yeah, they've moved and you can shoot now. That's what he's saying.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, okay.
You can
so
order
they
them
c-
to shoot.
Okay.
I think you should.
Yes. Well, I would like them to shoot at the enemy infantry ahead on the eastern bank. That is about it. I'm just gonna quickly recap so it's fresh. The one line infantry regiment staying at the head of the bridge is going to head down south and help reinforce Bertoletti from that cavalry charge. And the artillery is going to keep firing at the enemy from their new position on the east. And the lads on the that are skirmishing on the eastern side of the bridge, the new ones that just showed up, are going to, I guess, just move forward northeast and keep helping skirmish.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so we're gonna leave the commanders in the south for a moment. So, looks like the Austrians in the south have indeed attacked the Italian flank at Villa Bella. It seems like the Italians had indeed placed scouts to watch the to keep watch on the Austrians, but unfortunately it seems like the Austrians had been able to charge before the scouts had been able to warn the commander of the cavalry in the south. Cavalry in Napoleonic periods can reach, I think, a distance of 1,000 paces in only 2 minutes or so from the time that they are stationary and from the time that they are not. And from that point on, the speed is basically they're at full gallop. So we're talking about minutes of worth times, minutes of time that the scout could have, or the French could have been warned of the impending cavalry. So cavalry really is so important on the Napoleonic battlefield, and Napoleon himself made efficient use of that fact. The Italians did have infantry covering their flank, but oh man, it is only a brigade of infantry, it seems like, and the area is wide and the lines have been extended long, so it seems like the General von Altenstieg has been able to capitulate on the overextension of the French in the south, as the enemy cavalry has headed off to the north. Of course, they've been doing quite well in the north, that friendly cavalry, though. It was interesting to hear the corps commander in the south that he wasn't actually aware of what is happening in the north. It's a large battlefield, so it can be quite easy to forget to communicate with fellow corps. And perhaps that's what the friendly forces did in the north. They've also very likely been occupied with the battle there. I will actually go talk to von Altenstieg, since he's the one who now got his moment to shine, as he did quite a good cavalry attack, it seems like. after having some trouble early in the day. Hey, General von Altensteig.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, what's... I see
regrouped.
that you finally got another cavalry charge going.
Yeah, I mean, regrouping took a little longer than we thought, and this isn't even the full force. I mean, I still have half a regiment sitting back in Bonifacio, ready to rumble, which I was keeping in reserve for if the Italians broke square. But as far as I know, they're stuck in there. So I'm rallying the guys who just destroyed that battery, and we're gonna ride to Villabella with the promise of more plunder to be had, as cannonballs don't make the best plunder. So we're regrouping again to try and get back and avoid any counterattack that the Italians have, because I can't help but notice there is French supply trains there as well, which means there's more people. And what, that's 7 regiments of supplies there, so it's it's better, but it's not looking great still. And if I can't get these forces to focus, and I've also just been informed, well, I say just about 30 minutes ago, but I was in the middle of a cavalry charge, been informed that Marziani and the entire southern force is withdrawing from San Bonifacio. Just after I'd ordered a cavalry charge into the flank of the enemies attacking San Bonifacio. So, yeah, no, it's not optimal, but I am regrouping, and I just sent a dispatch. I just had to regroup the guys and then send a dispatch, and I couldn't exploit my thing further in the hope that hopefully they will be able to support me, whether it just be with cavalry or whatever.
So you're currently advancing and the rest of the friendly troops are retreating, is that what you're saying?
From what I've heard from, like in my channel there, I got a dispatch from Marziani's second in command informing me that I was supposed to be acting as a rear guard for the entire army corps withdrawing. It said withdraw, and I kept 4 horses at the bridge that they were withdrawing from. However, that was after I had issued the orders to charge and after we had shattered the Italian cavalry, and I mean, I couldn't give up the chance to get in there and just destroy all the baggage. So to my knowledge, I have no support. Thank you very much.
So actually forgot to unmute my mic, but basically, it seems like that the game is about to, or is about to reach its end. We've been playing for several hours now, and in the south, the basically, if the route through Saint Bonifacio is starting to seem completely open, and the Austrians are gathering for another line of defense, but they are but the Franco-Italian troops have definitely gotten across, and the Austrians have taken quite a lot of casualties. So on the larger scale, it looks like the tide is on the side of the Franco-Italian troops, although there have been quite a few successful actions by individual Austrian commanders. So it has not been a bloodless victory, but it's been a fun game to follow regardless. I think we might be going for like a turn, and then the game will stop. I need to send a message to ask. Alright, so currently the commanders are telling their last... Okay, in 1 second. I need to go listen to the French CSE.
Where's Otto? Oh, there you are, Otto.
Yep. Hello.
We're going to call the game, but we're asking both commanders their intentions. So, Sheephead, what is your intention for the rest of this day?
Well, I kind of need to see what's going on in the south, but from what I understand by dispatches, the Italians are under cavalry attack, so I want to divert my own cavalry to help them, and then together with the infantry, drive the enemy cavalry off. If there's infantry behind them, enemy infantry, then destroy them. And then with that done, or if there's no infantry, then even while that's happening, we will cross the main highway bridge, and then pretty much as I explained at the very beginning of the game, ironically, if they have troops around San Bonifacio, then we'll split the enemy in half, in two parts. If they don't, then we'll just surround them and destroy them. I have troops up here pinning the enemy down around Soave. Everyone else is going south to either help the Italians or attack across the main bridge. I do feel very sorry for Serras, who, because we have this like whole central strategy going on of attacking the southern pincer, then the northern pincer, then the southern force, etc., it means that Serras has spent the entire game doing marching simulator north and south and north and south. But generally speaking, I think we've won the battle. As long as we don't mess anything up massively, and I'm not missing anything massive in the south, which could also be.
Will we head over to the Austrians now?
I already spoke to him. I just put it in umpire chat what they do.
Okay.
I think we can put everyone to the lobby.
Yep.
Okay, so the game is ending. The Austrians said they pull back if the South collapsed, which it did. What has been written in the umpire's chat, and we're now gonna go to the lobby for the final debriefing.
Be quiet for the first part.
Oh, it's over.
Like a debrief.
Okay.
Avanti Italia, avanti.
What?
Oh.
Holy crap, there's a lot of people.
Holy crap.
Is
the game over?
The game is over.
Nice.
Helps. We're gonna have like a debrief now, so you gotta be quiet.
Just join the lobby, yeah.
Well, most people will get a chance to talk anyway. Yeah, I think we can.
Most people will get a chance to talk. Well, everyone, I mean, will get a chance to talk eventually. But we're gonna call the game here because, well, for one, we've kind of exhausted the amount of time we had set off for this game, and for the other, we believe we have reached a satisfactory conclusion of the battle. Gonna ask just quickly firstly the two TICs to in a very few sentences describe what they think is happening and who they think are winning, starting with the French. I think that the enemy tried to do a double envelopment. We attacked their southern pincer and defeated it, then shifted forces north and destroyed the northern pincer, I think, very decisively. I think that we are winning, and I think if the game had continued, we would drive off the cavalry that is attacking the Italians, if it hasn't already been driven off, and then we will attack across the bridge, and we will finish the battle. I think this will be a fairly decisive victory, though in the past my predictions have been horribly wrong, so who knows. General or Field Marshal of the Austrians, or Archduke actually of the Austrians.
I do not know what our situation in the south is right now, though I would think it is not going too well. We did our attack at the north was first running well, but now it's been beaten completely. So We also noticed that we've seen some units to our south across our side of the river. So I would say the enemy has probably crossed at some points, and yeah, they have beaten significant amounts of our forces. I would be retreating after this, if unless there's some clear signs that we are winning, but I doubt that.
So there is a stream up on YouTube, and I will also stream the table as well.
Is there a
Everyone
table
can
to join?
see.
I've also put a GIF of the battle in
Yes.
general chat.
This IKS password is 123.
Is it hosted by Rankine?
Yes.
So what has prompted the end state here is that an hour ago or so, maybe less, the Austrians, or just delete the lines, the Austrians had eventually moved their infantry forces under what was it, Falkman, across to San Vittore. And from there, they had advanced towards the south and overran a small Italian contingent. However, once they were rounding up the prisoners and retiring with their cavalry, they were countercharged by a huge French cavalry contingent and overrun completely. So von Falkman and his column, those who were not surrounded and surrendered or cut down, which a great many were, are retreating for the hills in the northeast. In the east, or around Suave. Suave still stands. There was French came in towards the town from the southwest, established positions to attack, and forced quite handily actually forced the Grenadiers back by being a little bit lucky with the cannon, striking fire to a house and also sending up their equally matching French skirmishers and forcing the Grenadiers out of the town. The new positions were formed riverbank, which have been held for most of the game. However, at some point there was an Austrian crossing attempt, and there was some skirmishing, but that has also been forced back of the game. If you want a more detailed debrief, I know this is kind of in broad strokes, but if you want a more detailed debrief, you can check the. Oh, my stream went down. I'll put it back up. If you want a more detailed debrief, there is the YouTube stream, but I'll go over it in broad strokes, and then we can talk about it afterwards. In the south, the Austrian cavalry was initially stationed way in the south to watch the approaches from Arcole, but eventually redeployed over the bridge down here, going up and spending quite some time getting through the marshes to come up and form up, where they were met by, this is much earlier in the day, they were met by that same cavalry force from north, or part of that same cavalry force, who came down and disorganized them quite a bit, which allowed for the French infantry to move up and form up here and here and here, then push towards the river. There were a great amount of Italian battalions were kept in square, awaiting the Austrian cavalry to return. There was some fierce fighting on this bridge between the Italians. It was Gavazzini's men holding the other side. It was primarily skirmishing, but Gavazzini held firm for a very long time. But eventually, he was even personally wounded, and his command was when like small pieces at a time. It was whittled away and eventually broken. Which has allowed
mostly artillery too, actually.
Which has allowed the Italian infantry to come across. the Italian infantry deployed towards the other crossing, and joined by skirmishes from here, and the fact that the Austrian commander who was holding this river decided to, or on here as well, decided to retreat. The Austrians have been forced back here as well. However, the Austrian cavalry in the south also returned later, having reorganized and brought over the remainder of the guys galloping Arcoli. They come up here, formed up, forced back the small enemy screen, and then they've attempted to make a movement around, while also sending forces up to Villabella. However, most of the cavalry has already been beaten, or is already done their fighting. Have opted on looting the local baggage which they can find, rather than fighting, and this created quite a lot of disorganization. But they have pinned the Bertoletti brigade in place for pretty much the entire day. So more forces were redeployed from San Bonifacio. There was a brigade holding here, and the brigade holding here, both redeployed to the east to go across and join in the defense here. There was an Austrian cavalry contingent all the way in the north at the beginning of the game, which crossed and made their way very slowly all the way across the hills. And came down here, where they had a brief skirmish with some Italian cavalry, losing quite a lot of organization, resulting in most of them running away, but some of them still continuing searching for God knows, searching for probably baggage to raid or loot or anything. At the end of the day, the situation is such that the French have captured the most ground, they have the most fresh reserves, and they have certainly captured the most trophies in way of cannon and infantry, and it's pretty fair to say that it is a rather decisive French victory. What will continue happening is, just guesswork, but one can imagine that if there is an immediate assault, like a soon coming assault on Suave, that could be very difficult for the Austrians to retreat with their baggage up across the hills here, or north, as the road south is shut, essentially, by the Italian division down there. So yeah, I want to actually ask a couple of newcomers first. I know this was the first game for a lot of quite a few players. So yeah, is there anyone who was a first-time player who would like to share their thoughts on the game?
I'd like to say.
Please do,
that
we start Martini.
my division was fresh for that entire game. They were the ones holding San Bonifacio, and we had no contact with the enemy and had been receiving no dispatches from Archduke John for the entire game. Like, we had some vague idea that it was a big mess up north, but we had really no exact idea what was going on north of Kalanasi.
I think.
And then in the last half an hour of the game, we decided to retreat across the bridge, and we're just beginning to arrive in Sunderland, so the game ended.
Yeah, our priority definitely shifted towards force preservation in that last hour.
You enjoy the format, at least, even though it's very
This was a
stationary for
blast.
quite some time.
This was a blast.
It was a fun game. It was a fun game thinking about what was going up north with all the death.
Okay. There's anyone else who's new?
Yeah, this is my first game. I was under the French Fifth Corps, and we were basically the reserve for most of it. But we knew that going in, and I think in hindsight, even though we weren't really committed by the end of it. It was good because we did a lot of maneuver. It got me used to like telegraphing orders and working out how to move stuff. So yeah, it was pretty good fun. And we had lots of communication with everyone. So yeah, I'll definitely be coming back.
If
So
no
then,
other,
yeah, we can go ask the CICs what they thought about the game. Like, I know after seeing the Fog of War, and I don't really have a plan for this debrief anymore.
Yeah. Before that, I just wanted to say that I'm very impressed with all of our new players. So, like for example, Serras. One of the reasons why I'm very sorry that you didn't get committed is because I think you were probably one of the best communicators we had. Grushi performed fantastically, and even in cases where there were things like communication issues, like I really wish that I had known what Fontanelli was doing half the time. Even there,
Same.
he had the right instincts, and I think he made the right choices. I just wish he had maybe communicated them better. So I also 12th Corps, the 12th Corps commander. I was very happy with. Overall, I was very pleased with the new players here. As for
John.
the,
Or were you not done?
I don't know. If no one else was talking, I was going to talk about the tactics, but if Archduke John would like to say something, then he can, of course, go first.
Comments about the battle now that we've seen the Fog of War, or?
Yes, comments about the battle, the plan, or the new players, or how you enjoyed the system and such.
I think the players did very well, especially now that I'm seeing the situation in the south. It's first of all, Gavassini did send me lots of reports every turn. He did not have too many units to order, but he did send reports every turn, which was nice. And that the south did manage to make a good retreat at a point in time that where they still had most of their forces is also very well timed. It was, I think, a very two big factors that were problematic for us was, first of all, we did deploy or I did deploy almost all of our artillery at the north, at Soave and next to San Vittore. Should have deployed more to San Bonifacio. Then the other thing is that Spleny with his cavalry unluckily took way too much time to get south because he was going through the hills. Which I did tell him to go try going behind the enemy lines, so that's kind of on me, but it's still unlucky because that meant he was delayed a little bit too much to support our efforts when we were going at San Vittore, and I think with his cavalry too, we would have managed to defend against the enemy cavalry's attack. Suave was also defended very well by the people who were there, quite creative. They were also Kleinmeyer trying to get time by deploying some units in front on the other side of the river. Did not shy back from doing that. I enjoyed it very well. I can only apologize for not. Well, I can apologize for not sending more orders to the south, but I was really too far away to give commands for a situation that I did not know. I do have to say though that I did send over some things. I'm not sure if they were intercepted because I sent my last order at 1300. And I did also not get many reports from Marziani. But it's likely also due to the 2-action system, and I did have him in charge in the south, and I did think that he would be able to manage that on his own, mostly because the south and the north were mostly independent of each other from how I've seen it.
I'd like to say that I was for a long time in the south. I was waiting for orders to come in because I wasn't sure what positions to take. I was waiting for orders from Archduke John.
And that kind of was the discussion that we were having, isn't it, Marzani? Where we were like, do we commit to a spoiling attack on the flank, or do we worry about that center crumbling with Giazzani or
yeah, the thing is, I cannot give you any orders if I don't know the situation, and until the message reaches me and I give you an order, the situation will have completely changed. I did send some command to give support to Sieska. So there was that. And afterwards, I also gave a command to ask you to retreat to the north of the riverside, which you did in the end, but I'm not sure if you got that command.
I received no word from you for the entire game. No dispatches from you reached me.
All right.
I think maybe
we did get one. That last one.
I think we can do last comments from French CSC, and then afterwards we declare the open forum and declare the debrief over.
Okay. I mean, my last comments would just be about like the tactics of it. So originally we wanted to do a big strong attack in the center with a diversionary attack at Suave. We then heard, or I got word as I was with Viani, that there was a strong enemy force apparently coming from the north. And then when I went south to talk to the people there were also cavalry coming from the south through the marshes. So what we were then able to do, because we had the central position, if I wanted to make fun of KB a little bit, I would say we had the interior lines here. We were able to shift our focus with concentrating all our force south to destroy the southern pincer, while the north just held on. Then shifting forces north to destroy the northern pincer, while the south held on, etc. And I think the fact that the Austrian players were complaining about communication, I think Archduke John actually got it exactly right. Because the Austrians were so spread out, communication would be extremely hard. Like exactly how Archduke John said, if he sent a letter, he wouldn't know the situation and it would probably be outdated by the time it got there. So I think being that spread out and not having enough concentration of force at any one point to achieve a decisive result is probably what doomed the Austrians here.
Okay, we're gonna thank everyone for playing. Yeah, thank you. Just reading my to-do list here. Thank everyone for playing. Thank you guys for playing. It has been very fun to umpire. We did have a brief hiccup there. Shout out to Rankind's dog for somehow causing him to lose connection, and there was a brief 30-minute, I guess, pause in the middle of the game. But thank you for your patience. Most of you sticked around. Thanks for playing. It has been a blast umpiring. Wish we had more time, or more umpires had more time, so we could continue this to the bitter end. But sometimes that's just how it is. So yeah, thanks for playing. Especially thanks to the assistant umpires, they volunteered ahead of the game. That is like a huge thank you. It would not have worked without you.
French won.
Yes, and the debrief is now over. The game is now over. It is open for him. You can.
When's the next game?
Who is playing Bertoletti?
Okay, on that point, I'm going to start ending the stream. the debrief or the free discussion after the game is going to last for quite a while, potentially up to an hour. Wouldn't be a first time seeing players discuss the game for an hour, but in the interest of YouTube and algorithm and not cutting it too short rather than too long, I'm gonna end the stream. So thanks for everyone who watched, and a special big thanks to KB and everyone else who was umpiring in the game. I only helped set it up this time and just did this casting thing. And I hope it was, for anyone who played in the game, I hope it was enjoyable to follow the situation and progress. And especially big thanks to all the assistant umpires who did a great job for, especially in this case, as the game was filled with new players. And I hope that all the new players really got a good experience in Kriegsspiel for their first time. And I hope to see all of them in the future as well. We had a big 30-player game, which is quite a proper battle, that is. If anyone watching this wants to at some point want to play in the IKS Kriegsspiel games, or wants to even umpire a game at some point, just go ahead, go on the internet to kriegspiel.org and join their Discord via the Discord link. Thank you, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.